Welcome to the start of a series of daily devotions on the events in the week leading up to Easter. We're going to start today with what we call the triumphal entry. When you read the Gospels, you'll see that there's a point in Jesus' life where he determines to go to Jerusalem, and he arrived on the Sunday before his arrest and crucifixion when he came into Jerusalem riding on a donkey. This is the triumphal entry, and we celebrate it in the church calendar on Palm Sunday, and we're probably very familiar with this story. It's an event which is mentioned in all of the four Gospels, so it's of some significance. And from these accounts we see that there were great crowds. There were clear signs from the crowds that they were expecting a king. The cry of Hosanna, blessed is he who comes in the name of the Lord, even the King of Israel. Hosanna means to save us now. Also they cried Hosanna to the Son of David. The reference there to David was to remember Israel's greatest king. Waving palm branches was something that had become associated with victory over the Jews' enemies. But the crowd's agenda was not Jesus' agenda. They wanted a king who would liberate the nation from the Roman occupation, powerful and warlike. But Jesus came in humility. Matthew and John point out this was the fulfilment of a prophecy, though John indicates they didn't quite get that until some time later. But the prophecy is in Zechariah, it's in chapter 9, verse 9. I'll just read that to you. It's quoted in the same verse, Matthew and in John. Rejoice greatly, O daughter of Zion. Shout aloud, O daughter of Jerusalem. Behold, your king is coming to you, righteous and having salvation is he, humble and mounted on a donkey, on a colt, the foal of a donkey. Jesus was indeed coming as a king, but the king of his kingdom, which is not of this world. It's characterised by those two words, righteous and having salvation. Righteous, it indicates the twofold nature of Christ's work, his righteousness where he lived this perfect life, and for salvation how he died for sinners, he took on our guilt, so we are credited with his righteousness and he takes from us our guilt, and that's salvation. The next verse in Zechariah says, this verse 10, I will cut off the chariot from Ephraim and the war horse from Jerusalem, and the battle bow shall be cut off, and he shall speak peace to the nations. His rule shall be from sea to sea, and from the river to the ends of the earth. So the war machine is to be dismantled, the chariots, the war horses, and the battle bow. Jesus is about bringing peace, primarily peace with God. But the crowd were expecting a worldly king, a king like other kings that they saw around about them. So they'd seen Jesus, but they missed him because they wanted him to fit into their view. So as we start this week and look at the events of this week in Jesus' life, let's commit to seeking Jesus, the Jesus of the Scriptures, to see who he really is. And if we recognise him as a king, which he is, and which he declared himself to be, but then we have to acknowledge him as a king. And that means we have to accept the things that he says and his ways of doing things, even if that doesn't fit our agendas. When we say Jesus is Lord, it's real, it's not just words. His kingdom is established in humility and secured through death, but it's realised through resurrection, new life. His enemies, including death, are defeated. And here's the thing, where Jesus is, there will be praise. Even if the people stop, Jesus said, if these were silent, the very stones would cry out. There has to be praise where Jesus is, because he is King of Kings. And he's not just a king, he is the king of all kings. So this week, as we seek him and find him, let's respond with praise and worship.